Pastor, I don't understand. Why aren't you just hiding under the pew like so many other pastors when the cops come knocking on your door?
Well, simply because I have read the Bible, and not just once, but many times. And in my Bible, Jesus commands us to go into all the world and preach the gospel to all creation. He also says in the Word of God that we are to follow the lion, not a hyena, the lion from the tribe of Judah. We are a pack of lions, and lions never bow before hyenas.
Pastor, a lot of people don't realize your background. They don't understand why. There's this guy in Canada fighting against the cops. I don't understand. Would you please explain where you came from and what you saw and why you fight like you fight?
Well, I grew up behind the Iron Curtain under the boots of the Soviets. So those things are, it's like a repetition of history in front of my eyes. I grew up in Poland hearing the stories from my grandparents about what the Nazis did, what the Gestapo did. And we have to remember that history is teaching us that history can be repeated. Adolf Hitler was democratically elected, and he didn't just invaded Europe overnight. It took him over 10 years to implement his plans. And he was using the brown shirts. He was using the Gestapo. He was using the Wehrmacht. He was using people to implement his tyranny. We have to understand that Hitler, there is no recorded incident that Hitler actually shot anyone himself. He was sending those types of people that were just simply obeying their orders, and they did his dirty work. So for me, it's a repetition of history. I've seen the abuse of power in Poland. I've seen the communistic, socialistic party that under that regime, you had absolutely no rights. The police could come to your house, break 5 a.m, beat you up, torture you, throw you in jail, and there was absolutely nothing you could do about it.
How did you get here? How did you end up in Canada? How did you end up in North America?
Well, my father escaped in 1989, and we joined him a year later. We had to escape on a boat because the government would not give us visas to leave the country. So we hired a boat. We went first to Istanbul, Turkey, and then from Turkey, we escaped to Greece, Athens. And we started a business over there. We were living in 50 kilometers from Athens, Agios Apostolios, a little town, for 5 years. And the Canadian government opened its borders and said, hey, we want people like you. We want young business people. You know, Canada is a wonderful country. No one here will persecute you for your faith. Bring your business, bring your money, bring your family, and start all over again. And that's exactly what we did.
Pastor, what I don't understand is why the West doesn't see the things you're describing, because I've never grown up behind the Iron Curtain. I didn't come from Poland. The Soviets were never in charge of my family. I was born here in America and raised here in America, but I can read history books, and they tell me exactly what it's like, and I do see the correlation, and I explain it to people on my show all the time. You had better be careful, because these people are all 1 inch away from doing that. Why can't the rest of Western society see the things you're describing?
Well, first of all, we have to understand that mainstream media is completely controlled by the government. It's a state media. It's not a free media. And that's exactly what the communists and the fascists were doing. First, you have to control what people are hearing and seeing. And then you have to educate them, but their style. So changing history or not teaching history whatsoever. So you have to occupy the political arena, you have to occupy the educational system, health system, and the mainstream media. And when you got all those ingredients, then you can tell people whatever you want them to believe and see. So people are not educated, and they have been comfortable for too long. They have this idea of saying this will never happen here, this will never happen in America. Well, it's happening right now, and now the question is, what are you going to do about it? Because the enemy is not approaching, the enemy is not at the gate, the enemy is already within our walls, and now we have to oppose it. So apathy, people were uninterested, they had too good for too long, they became fat and lazy, if you will, spiritually as well. And they just don't want to fight anymore. They got too much to lose. But as people are losing, just like we were losing under the communistic dictatorship in Poland, then they will be more inclined to rise up and stand up and fight. Peaceful non-compliance. Simply, like I say to people, you gotta just say 3 words, really. No, I will not bow before your tyranny. I will not bow before this dictatorship. You have no rights to do what you're doing to me. No, and then get out. No, get out. Get out of my business. Get out of my church. Get out of my home. Get out of our political arena, educational system, healthcare system. Get out, you're Nazis.
Hey, thanks so much for watching the first on YouTube. If you liked what you saw, go ahead and like and subscribe. You heard me. Like it, subscribe. You'll get a lot more of it and a lot more of me. Thanks.